area is meaningless if 80% of our trade is settled in foreign currencies. A common African currency would reduce costs, expand markets, and build true African economic independence. Gaddafi's legacy. Muammar Gaddafi dreamed of a gold-backed African dinar. He was assassinated not for oppressing his people, but because he threatened dollar supremacy. His blood is on the hands of those who fear African freedom. His dream must therefore be resuscitated one day. Sovereignty is another lesson. A common currency is not just economic, it is political. It would make Africa a negotiating bloc of 1.4 billion people, not just 54 vulnerable states begging for trade crumbs. The Sahel Alliance, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger are showing Africa that sovereignty is not a slogan. It is possible. Their rejection of neocolonialism is proof that Africans are willing to sacrifice everything for their freedom. Thank you. One Africa, one currency, one destiny. One Africa, one currency, one destiny. Let me repeat. One Africa, one currency, one destiny. That's the way to go, fellow Africans. Let me move on to bilateral relations and commendation to Ghana. Since the establishment of a formal diplomatic ties, South Africa and Ghana have signed over 24 bilateral agreements and memoranda of understanding covering critical areas such as trade, investment protection, double taxation, defense, transport, agriculture, ICT, arts and culture, and most recently, a visa waiver agreement for ordinary passport holders. These are some of the issues that are covered by the bilateral agreements between the two countries. In 2019, this cooperation was further elevated to the Binational Commission, commonly known as the BNC, at the presidential level, thereby ensuring structured follow-up and accountability. The significance of these agreements lies not merely in their signing, but in their effective implementation as they open pathways for deeper economic integration, technological exchange, cultural cooperation, and people-to-people connectivity. The Umkhonto weSizwe Party recognizes that Africa's liberation is incomplete without strong intra-African solidarity and will therefore continue to agitate for a robust and action-oriented diplomatic relations between South Africa and Ghana, ensuring that these instruments serve the real needs of our people, advance Pan-African unity, and resist external manipulation of our continental partnerships. I must pause here to commend Ghana for its bold step in backing Morocco's autonomy plan over the separatist agenda in the Western Sahara. Some may disagree, but I say Africa must not be divided for the convenience of the outsiders. The era of balkanizing Africa to serve foreign agendas is over. By prioritizing stability and integration, Ghana has once again placed itself at the forefront of Pan-African leadership. The Morocco Atlantic Initiative, launched in November 2013, aims to connect the landlocked Sahel to the Atlantic Ocean through infrastructure development and regional integration. This initiative, spearheaded by Morocco, involves investments in ports, roads, and railways to facilitate trade and economic growth for countries like Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Chad. The initiative also seeks to foster cooperation in energy, security, and other areas. The initiative aims to transform the economies of Sahel countries by providing them with access to Atlantic and fostering regional integration. This regional integration must be the economic, trade, and currency bridge into BRICS, therefore northern and southern trade routes. That's what is needed. The days of Africa dancing to the drums are over. We shall beat our own drum now. Thank you. Umkhonto weSizwe Party, the future of South Africa. Umkhonto weSizwe Party's manifesto, which we refer to as the People's Mandate, outlines 8 pillars which serve as the foundation for our vision as a political party and policy proposals. Allow me to quickly go through them. The first is reclaiming our dignity. This pillar focuses on restoring the self-respect and pride of South African and the African people throughout the continent. The second pillar is reclaiming land and mineral resources. This pillar addresses the issue of land ownership and control over natural resources, advocating for policies that redistribute land and its resources. The third pillar relates to reclaiming people's power. The pillar emphasizes empowering citizens and giving them a greater say in the decision-making processes. The fourth pillar, reclaiming the economy. The pillar aims to address economic inequality and promote inclusive growth. The fifth pillar, building human capital and technological capabilities. This focuses on investing in education because we believe that there is no self-respecting country which does not invest in education. It also focuses on skills development and technological advances. Technological advancements, I beg your pardon. The sixth pillar, reclaiming spaces. This addresses issues related to urban development, infrastructure, and access to basic services. The seventh pillar being reclaiming safety and security. This pillar focuses on improving law and order and ensuring the safety and security of all citizens. The last pillar relates to reclaiming sovereignty and position in Africa and the world. This emphasizes South Africa's role and influence in the African continent and on the global stage. Together, these pillars embody the uncompromising vision of Umkhonto weSizwe Party as the only true hope for the last stage of the total liberation of the South African people. A liberation not just from apartheid's political chains, but from economic captivity, poverty, unemployment, near-colonial domination that continue to strangle our nation. Unlike the compromised so-called government of national unity, the MK Party represents the genuine continuation of the liberation struggle, carrying forward the spirit of our forebears to deliver full liberation, freedom, dignity, and prosperity to every South African citizen. The road ahead, this is now the call to Africa's youth and intellectuals. Comrades and friends, De-dollarization is not simply an economic debate. It is the new liberation struggle. It is the continuation of the battles fought by Kwame Nkrumah, Lumumba, Nyerere, Sankara, and Gaddafi, to name but a few. But let us be clear. Presidents and governments alone will not complete this mission. It will be the women, youth, the students and scholars, the innovators of Africa, and the poorest and the downtrodden people of our continent who must carry this revolution forward. UPSA and every African university must become a workshop for sovereignty. Economists must design African financial models. Engineers must build African judicial platforms. Lawyers must craft African institutions of justice. Leaders must cultivate African unity. The West built its powers by chaining Africa. The new generation of Africans must build our power, by breaking those chains. We must move from the classroom to the policy room, from the laboratory to the marketplace, from the lecture hall to the halls of power. Africa must produce not just employees for foreign corporations. Africa must produce inventors, great thinkers, and builders of the African systems. We are not beggars at the world's table. We are builders of a new table. I wish to conclude by saying Africa must unite. The power of Africa is in its unity. It is now or never. Long live Pan-African unity. Long live African sovereignty. Long live the dream of an Africa free, united, and prosperous future. I thank you most sincerely.
Thank you very much.